So I just got back from seeing the Amazing Digital Circus, the last act in theaters, and I gotta say, not only did the finale blow me away, but honestly, the entire series did too. And this video mainly exists as a massive ode to it. I just want to say that the Amazing Digital Circus was an absolute blast to sit through from beginning to end. Without a shadow of a doubt, it is one of the greatest indie animated projects that I have watched. And in some ways, I might actually prefer to the Helliverse in terms of accessibility and writing. It was a series I actually started seeing at the very start back in October 2023, when the first episode came out. And from that point onwards, I was heavily invested in the story that it was trying to tell, as well as the situations that the characters got into, whether it be encountering an abstracted fallen comrade, visiting a candy kingdom, going inside a haunted house, working at Spudsy's, going through a lightning round of different adventures of different styles, getting guns, going to the beach and encountering a crisis, and fighting back against the AI that trapped you here in the first place, and accidentally deleting him. I would also say something about episode 9, but honestly, I don't want to give away anything here. But let's just say, when the episode finally releases on YouTube or Netflix on the 19th, you will definitely see what I mean. And this series is just absolutely incredible with its different aspects. I actually really enjoyed the characters and how they grew from being 1 or 2 dimensional archetypes to characters who actually grew to have deep substance, such as Jax or Kinger, not to mention the dynamics between everybody. It just made me feel like the whole lot of them felt like a great team, and not to mention the vocal performances done by the voice actors, who all do a fantastic job. I actually think the animation looks really good considering it is an indie project, and it feels interesting to see it evolve and improve as it progresses. It felt great seeing the different locations within the circus and the wild amount of world building that it has, how great the score is, and how catchy the admittedly very few songs we got are. And most importantly, I really love how the story is told. How it starts off with a girl with an avatar called Pomni who just simply wants to escape from the circus, and how the whole gang go on weird and crazy adventures from that point, to themes of existentialism and dread, and even seeing some horror in the series too, slowly but surely demonstrating that this series is actually secretly dark this whole time, and how we learn about the previous people inside the circus. It's a feeling that I absolutely adore whenever I watch anything, be it movies or shows, and it gives it a bit more of a character too. It really offered some deep emotions that I honestly never expected to feel, especially since it started off as a silly, goofy cartoon, only for it to avert expectations with it being deep and making you think. Gooseworx really put her all into this series, and honestly, I feel after this series she needs a well-deserved break, especially how the series blew up the way it did, how it got so much merch, which I even have a few, how it had the website, how it landed onto Netflix, how it had games and other shorts to promote merch, and how it grew in fans. Unfortunately, there were those fans that were complete scum who decided to delete the whole finale and harass the people involved in the series, creating shipping wars and arguments, etc. But honestly, screw them. This video is not about them. I just want to celebrate and give thanks to the actual good people of this community, and that's what I will do. I want to give massive shoutouts to various people. Of course, a shout out to Glitch Productions for producing the show, and for actually making me interested in the other series you produce, such as Murder Drones, The Gaslight District, Knights of Guinevere, and most recently Gameaverse. And don't worry, I will keep supporting you guys with whatever you make in the future, but honestly, the Amazing Digital Circus was the best show you made. I also want to give a shout out to my friends for constantly talking about this series with me and making me feel included, and for just being awesome people in general. I want to shout out the voice actors for voicing the characters and for doing an amazing job at it, not to mention Lizzie Freeman and Michael Kovac being absolute legends when I met them at MegaCon back in January. I do feel kinda sad I didn't see the other cast members. If I had the time, the money and the patience, I definitely would have considered doing it. I want to shout out the fans, and I mean the actually nice fans, the fans that actually create plenty of fan content and stories, fan songs featuring the actual voice actors, fun and hilarious parodies and memes, sweet and epic fan art, and overall just being a nice community. And of course, a really important shout out has to go to the person that created the whole series to begin with, Gooseworx. She put all her blood, sweat and tears to try and make the series she wanted to make, and in my eyes, it honestly succeeded. It may be sad to see the Amazing Digital Circus come to an end, and to say goodbye to characters like Pomni, Ragatha, Jax, Gangle, Zubul, Kinger, Kane, Bubble, and the rest of the ensemble. But I respect Gooseworx for choosing to end it here, and thanks to her, she has created a fascinating take on existentialism that can only go on in an amazing digital circus. Thank you.